Hello and welcome back to some more Minecraft on the JSano fan server. Hey, how you doing? As the sun sets, I'm here on top of Spawn Christmas tree, the ugliest Christmas tree known to man. Okay, well it's not that bad, but it's a bit gaudy. It's a bit. Oh man, where am I going? Uh, it's a little bit. Uh, well, yeah, it's that. At some point we've got to come and do some presents, but obviously I've got to do this off screen so no one else on the server knows what I got them. No one's even put names on here yet. Maybe I should do that. I'm too lazy. I've got bigger things to do in today's episode. We're going to head back to the Stonecutters Lodge. We're going to do some more of the interior. Oh, no, wait. Before I do that, I'm going to quickly fly this way. I'm very curious to see if anyone else has played Shorstin's Dropper game yet. Because, listen, I was just so pleased to get the top score of 2 scores. I'm eager to see if I'm still top. I don't think many people have been on, but you never know. Oh man, this world is not loading in very quickly. Bring on the new snapshots with better... Well, I don't know what they're doing with this game anymore, to be honest. Are they making it better? More optimised? Who knows? Any more? Sayolo. Oh. 44! Suck my cookie. Cookie? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. No video evidence. No proof. Don't believe 44. Is that even possible? Am I just a sore loser? Probably. Alright, so yeah, let's go back to the Stonecutters thing. We'll do some more progress on that. I'm going to be tabbing in and out of Minecraft windows because I've got my creative world and my second monitor and I can't remember my design. So hopefully it doesn't break the recording and make it too annoying. And what I want to do as I'm doing some of this is try to, and I usually try and do these and fail where I do some building and try and talk at the same time, but I'm going to try and do it today. I want to talk about Star Wars. I want to talk about Star Wars The Last Jedi in particular, the new Star Wars film, episode 8, released, I don't know when this video is going out, but it was released last week as of recording. And don't worry, don't switch off right now if you haven't seen it. I am going to talk about spoilers because I want to give a sort of review. I am going to talk about spoilers, but I will quite clearly say it and I'll put it on screen and I'll put when to skip forward to. So when I stop talking about spoilers, which will probably be near the end anyway. But yeah, I don't want to like wreck the film for anyone else. So I'm not going to dive straight into all the little things that happen in the film. Ooh, thank you. Let's go to sleep. Let's not, because there's mobs everywhere for some reason. I've got loads of supplies with me ready to go. There's not going to be too much interior design because I haven't really done much, to be honest. Only half of this build is sort of designed, and that's not including the 1,000 diamond hour monument, of course, which was the whole point of this thing. Well, not originally, but it is now, which is going to go on this side. So we're going to deal with some more of this walls and this room in here. Okay, so let's get started with some paintings. I'm going to put some paintings down. So, you know what? I'm probably going to end up saying a spoiler by accident. So let's just say I'm going to start talking about spoilers now about Star Wars. If you haven't seen it and you're worried about it, then stop watching. If you have seen it, then carry on watching and see if you agree or disagree with me. That being said, I will give a little bit of backstory. So I am a Star Wars fan. I've been a Star Wars fan for many years. I think for anyone my sort of age, which is early to mid 20s, we naturally grew up with Star Wars around the time of Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, the prequel trilogy. It's funny because we're sort of if we were any older, we would have missed Star Wars, but then if we were much older, we would have got the original trilogy. So we were sort of like the right age to get the prequels as we were growing up, because that's why Star Wars was so massively popular, because kids loved it back in the 70s and 80s, and they grew up with it. It's their childhood nostalgia. And it's kind of the same with the prequels. So I know that people like to bash them, and I'm not going to go into too much depth about the prequels, but I think most people our age do have a soft spot for them. As bad as Jar Jar Binks is, and as bad as the Gungans and CGI Yoda and all that sort of stuff, you know, you can't help it. Like I remember, I remember one time like spending loads of time in a corner shop, grabbing all the packets of crisps and like fondling all the packets of crisps, trying to be secretive so the shopkeeper wouldn't notice me. And the reason why I was doing that is because at the time there was some like little freebie things inside packets of crisps, or chips I guess if you're American, where it was giving away like little they were like little plastic busts of Phantom Menace characters, and then you pulled off the top and inside was a bit of paper, rolled up bit of paper with information about it. Does that ring a bell to anyone? And they might have had that sort of, they might have had a similar thing in America or across the world. I don't know, but I do remember them in packets of Walker's crisps, or what would be Lay's in America. Does that ring a bell? Anyways, yeah, I remember doing that and then eventually getting found out and told off by the shopkeeper because I was like smashing up all the packets of crisps. Not on purpose, but I was. I remember I think it was in cereal packets, they had like some fake gold looking sort of like, I don't know what they were. They were just like bits of metal that had the characters on them. I remember those. So basically, we kids, we fell right into the whole thing of the merchandise. We lapped it up, good and proper. Much like what's happening now. You know, everything changes. Lucas goes into Disney, but nothing really changes, does it? Anyway, so yeah, I've always been a fan of Star Wars. I've been a fan of Star Wars games. I've played Battlefront 2 many times on this channel and live streamed it and stuff. And what other? I have played a Star Wars game. Of course I have. I played The Force Unleashed, which, frankly, is a terrible Let's Play, and no one should watch it. But I did play Star Wars The Force Unleashed on this channel. Let's play that. Is that the same as that one? It is. I don't want that. I haven't read any of the novels. I didn't really get into the expanded universe of Star Wars when it was still canon. But I was just generally... what I'm trying to say in a very roundabout way is I was and am a fan of Star Wars. You'd be hard pressed to find someone who doesn't know Star Wars, at least. They may not be a fan of it, but they probably know of it. So, blah, blah, blah. Prequel came out. That was over 10 years ago since the last one, Return of the Sith. No, Revenge of the Sith, even. What do I do up here? 2x2s. Okay. And since then, Disney bought Lucas Arts and all the intellectual property for Star Wars. Force Awakens came out 2015. I thought it, and everyone says this now with hindsight, it was too much like A New Hope. It was too much of the same. Not enough risks. It's easy to see why J.J. Abrams did what he did. It was like a kind of soft reboot of the Star Wars franchise. You had to have... Why are they flashing so much? You had to have a bit of that old Star Wars to keep people invested, but then slowly introduce new stuff, which I think it sort of managed to do. It was a bit too similar, that being said. And I was just a bit confused by just some of the decisions they took. Like, there's another Sith, or there's another Empire, I should say. The First Order. There's another Death Star. So, they weren't perfect, but they were okay. Or it was okay, The Force Awakens. It was nice looking, and I liked the characters. I liked Rey, I liked Finn. Didn't really care much for Poe Dameron, but I liked Kylo Ren. Didn't know much about Snoke. but that's fine. And I hadn't actually seen Rogue One, but then Rogue One came out. And now we're on to The Last Jedi. I guess spoilers start now. None of that was actually spoilers, was it? Okay, ignore what I said earlier. Ignore that. I don't actually get into spoilers until now. Now, spoilers. Skip forward on the time on the screen if you don't want spoilers. Okay. Anyway. Last Jedi. I saw Last Jedi a few days ago as of recording. Longest Star Wars film yet. 2.5 hours long. Directed by... what's his name? Rian Johnson. And I gotta say, after a few days sitting on it, I don't think it was very good. I don't think it was very good. The one thing you can say is that it definitely hasn't followed J.J. Abrams' route of copying the original trilogy. So it is not like Empire Strikes Back, although actually it sort of is. It sort of is a bit like Empire Strikes Back. The main problem I had with this film, I think, is... I had many problems with the film, but I think the main problem is that oh man, how do I describe this? I read a comment online and it really summed it up. I left feeling empty. Yeah, I left feeling empty. Let's put it that way. I left the cinema feeling very sort of devoid, and that's because the majority of the film, and some argue that the film's theme, and it's purposely this way, is, of course it's purposely that way, but the film's theme is of failure. It's all to do with how people fail, and you have to move on from failure and learn from your mistakes, which in of itself is a nice idea. Good guys don't always win. Bad stuff happens to them. It is very much like Empire Strikes Back now I think of it, because Empire Strikes Back, it ends on a really bad cliffhanger. It ends on Han Solo is frozen in carbonite. The rebellion is weaker than ever. They're hopeless. It's hopeless at the end of Empire Strikes Back. And sort of the same case of this film. It does end on a similar note of complete desperation. But there's a different feeling to it, though. It's like a feeling of, like, it didn't feel like a Star Wars film. And one thing that I'm really sad about is the direction they took Luke Skywalker in. And funnily enough, this is something that I think Mark Hamill has said himself, or at least hinted to in interviews, is that he is also not too pleased about where Rian Johnson took Luke Skywalker. Obviously he went along with it because he is an actor and he has to do what he says. He's probably in a contract. He can't argue that much. So we met Luke Skywalker very, very, very briefly at the end of Force Awakens. One very long, awkward shot as the helicopter pans around Rey and Luke. In this film, he's sort of Obi-Wan Kenobi, in that he has kind of exiled himself. He's a little hermit on that rocky island, just doing all the stuff that you would do in that sort of place. Going hunting and catching fish and cooking and living a very boring life away from attention, exactly like Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Rey comes along, says, "Oh, we need your help, Luke. We can't defeat the First Order without you. We need your Force powers." And he's like, No, the Jedi are more than going into battle and waging war. The Force is about becoming one with yourself and blah, 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 blah. And he won't go with her to go help defeat the First Order. And I'm not going to go into every detail of the film, but throughout the whole film, he stays on that island. And even when you think he's left the island, this is major spoilers now, but at the end, when you think, he's turned up to defeat Kylo Ren, we're going to get one really awesome big battle scene now. This is going to be great. Oh no, tricked ya. Turns out he's actually just projecting himself from across the universe, and he's actually still on the little island place with his little porgs, which I'll get onto later. So yeah, that that whole thing about Luke being that way, I do not like. And some may say that's just because, hey, I want things to be happy and I want things to be nice and I don't want to see characters in that way. And this relates back to the seeing characters fail. Some may say that. I just say I think it's a bit depressing. I think it's a bit... I think it's a bit of a waste of the character, really. So, after 30 odd years of seeing Luke, after Return of the Jedi, waiting for that long, what do we see him do? Sit on a rocky island, being grumpy and moaning at Rey, and then doing this little projection across the universe to confront Kylo Ren. And, oh, by the way, that kills him. He dies. Luke dies. Not in some big fight where it's like lightsaber battle. He dies because... well, I don't really know. I don't really know why he died. I guess it's because the power needed to project himself across the planet and do that sort of thing was too much. Like, it made him too weak to do that, and he died and became one with the Force. I guess that makes sense if you're going by the Force that way. Because like he's sitting on the rock doing his little mind thing, and then suddenly his cloak, cape, hood, whatever it is, just sort of drops like Obi-Wan Kenobi's does when Darth Vader kills him. It just drops, so you have to assume, okay, Luke's dead. And I just feel like they got rid of Han Solo really quickly in Force Awakens. After one film, he's gone, pretty much because I'm guessing that's all that that's all that Harrison Ford wanted to do. He's like, okay, I'll come back for one more, give me all the money, and then kill me, because I'm not coming back after that. Fair enough. But Mark Hamill, he cares about Star Wars. You can tell he cares about Star Wars. He's had to talk about Star Wars every day of his life for the past 30 years. So I think he's gone past... oh, I need fences there. I think he's got past the point of being sick of Star Wars, and he's just learned to embrace it. Excuse me, I'm just clearing my throat. And so that's why I think it's such a shame, is that I have a feeling Mark Hamill was really ready to come back and do some cool stuff with Luke, and they've killed him off in a really pathetic way. This is very divisive. This is probably the most divisive Star Wars film yet, because some people will argue exactly what I've just said, and why that's a good thing, and why Luke going out that way, not in some big battle, is more like what a Jedi would do. How do you make... oh, you do this now, don't you? Yeah, that's more what a Jedi would do. It's not all about fighting, it's about the mind and all this sort of mumbo jumbo. No, that's still wrong. So that's why it's splitting opinions, I think. It's just me personally. I would have liked to have seen Luke more involved. I would have liked to have seen Luke not as some haggard old man. Because you've done that. You've done that of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Can't we see Luke? We know that Luke did some sort of training school for the Force, and that's how he messed up with Kylo Ren and made Kylo Ren turn to the dark side. But why does he then have to go into it? Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. More problems with the film. So I think Luke Skywalker was the main problem I had with the film. I just think... oh, and by the way, another argument against what I just said is, well, you know, this is a whole new trilogy. We've got to, at some point, let go of old characters and move on. In fact, Yoda pretty much says exactly that. Yoda comes back, by the way, which was pretty cool. I like that bit. Yoda comes back and tells Luke, yeah, you need to move on. So maybe they're telling the audience as well in that scene, you need to move on. But we've got years and years and years and years of Star Wars films to come. Disney have got Star Wars planned till probably at least 2030. I don't know. It's something ridiculous. Much like they have with Marvel. We're going to get Star Wars films every year. There's no doubt. They're gonna milk that cow for as much as they can. So we've got all the time in the world to move on to new Star Wars characters. Can we please, like, end the old characters gracefully and in a nice way? And I don't feel like they've done that. I really don't. Anyway, I'll move on from Luke because I'm rambling about him now. Other things I didn't like about the film. Well, there were just some bizarre choices. And a lot of it came down to trying to be funny. This film has a lot of humour, and unfortunately, not successful humour. It's very Marvel-ish humour, where it's all quips and it's all little lines and little moments at the end of what could be like a nice little scene, and it's like, nope, gotta end with a little joke, and it ruins it. It's odd, and I'm trying to think of examples of jokes, but I can't really think of any. The main problem I have with all the little jokes and the little funny things, one of the big ones I really didn't like is the porgs. So, these bloody porgs. The porgs are the little hamster owl bird things that you see in the trailer. The one that's like squawking right up close to the camera. It's got big black eyes and it's all so cute and it's so cuddly. And I swear the porgs had more bloody screen time in this film than Leia. I'm pretty sure. And you know why? You know why it has so much screen time? Because they know that kids are gonna lap it up. Oh, mummy, I want my plush porg for Christmas, or my talking porg, which squawks every time I squidge it. That's exactly it. And it's so in your face that they want this cute little toy. They did it, and I'm not saying that they haven't done that before. They've done it all the time. Jar Jar Binks, toy, funny, comedic thing. And guess what? Everyone hates Jar Jar Binks. I really hope people dislike the porgs as much as I do, because they're stupid. You know what was funny and I did like was this is getting really hard to explain. They were like these little nun-like creatures. I don't know how else to explain them. They were like these little nun aliens. They look like nuns anyway. Who like take care of the island that Luke's on, because it's like the Jedi island. So it's got all these old Jedi buildings. And they were good. And you know why they were good? Because they were in one scene, or maybe two. And they didn't outstay their welcome. The porgs, every time they're on the island, there's a porg. Oh no, Chewbacca's going to eat a porg. Oh, it's so... Ugh. Have I got this in the right place? Hang on a minute. It needs to line up with that last block. Oh no, this is completely wrong. Oh no. Let me double check this. 1, 2, 3, 4. It needs to be on the 5th block back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here. So yeah, there was a lot of one of the worst examples of the humour in this film, and it happens in the first 5 minutes. I'm turning down those bump sounds. It happens in the first 5 minutes. Is Poe Dameron? He's being all cool and Han Solo-ish, you know, not listening to the rules, being a bit of a rebel, and he phones up. sounds silly as I'm saying it. He phones up General Hux, you know, the general of the First Order, the angry-looking guy. Like he space calls him, and like does this little phone prank call on him, where he like pretends that he's not answering the phone, and it's as bad as it sounds. And I think there's even like a Your Mama joke in there somewhere. There's a Your Mama joke in Star Wars. Yeah. Yeah. That was not good.
And guess what we're ready for now? The cooking. Step 1, we stir the mixture. Stir, 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 stir. Stir, 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 stir. Very nice. Now, step 2, while we're stirring, we also whip. So it's stir, whip, 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 stir. Stir, whip, 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 stir. Now, let's try it again together at an increased tempo, because precision is very important in this recipe, and we do want to have a fine consistency, don't we? So, and on the count of 1. Stir, whip, 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 stir. Stir, whip, 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 stir. Come on, faster all together now. Cooking can be fun. Stir, whip, whip, stir. Stir, whip, whip, stir. Wow! Having fun, all right?
Leia. Okay, let's go on to Leia. As we all know, or I hope know, Carrie Fisher passed away last year. I think it was sort of this time last year, actually. And that has meant that it's kind of unfortunate, because I think they plan to have Leia's sort of big part of the film be in the third one, in episode 9. Obviously, they can't do that now. So this is her last proper Star Wars film. They might do some weird CGI stuff next time. I don't know. But yeah, for now this is the last one. And she is just got... I don't understand. I keep seeing people say, oh, they did such a good job of Leia in this film. It's really respectful and tasteful. And I honestly have no clue why people are saying this, because Leia did hardly anything in this film. She stood around, looked sad when all of her rebels were dying in star battles, right? Said, I think she must have had about 10 lines in the whole film, I don't know. And there's one bit which everyone's talking about because it was just so darn weird. Okay, everyone assumed that Princess Leia was going to die in this film because Carrie Fisher's died. So they thought, okay, they'll probably kill her off in this film, then they'll do some sort of thing where even if she wasn't meant to die in this film, they'll do it, and then, yeah, they'll work around it. They can do magic with all the computer stuff these days. So there is a part in the film where you think that happens, because she's on the bridge of one of her rebel ships, and then some of the First Order pilots, not Kylo Ren, some of the First Order guys, they shoot the bridge and everyone gets sucked out. Including, by the way, Admiral Akbar. Admiral Akbar dies in this film. One line, like one throwaway line mention. Like, oh, and we've also lost Admiral Akbar. I mean, what? Why? I know he's a bit of a meme. Well, he's a meme, although it's a trap thing. I know he's a bit of a joke character. But he's still a character people love. Why? Why do that? Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, they blow up the bridge. Princess Leia gets sucked out, and you're like, okay, she's dead. She's gone. And it was sort of nice, the first bit. So she gets blown out into space. She's floating in space. She starts to sort of crystallize because space is very cold. And you think, okay, this is quite a beautiful scene. It's a nice death scene, if you know what I mean. She's sort of very, very princess. She's like flowing out in space, and it's looking quite beautiful. And then her fingers start to twitch. Her eyes start to sort of twitch a bit. And she turns into Superman and flies through space back onto the ship. I kid ye not. I kid ye not. She flies back through space. It's a bizarre choice. I don't know why they did that. I know people have asked to see Leia use her Force powers, because she must have Force powers. She's the brother of Luke. They both come from Anakin. She must have Force within her. Well, now we see it. In the dumbest way possible, she sort of brings herself back to life, pretty much, and goes into a coma. And wakes up later on in the film perfectly fine, as if nothing had ever happened. That was, I just remember sitting in the cinema. I turned around to my friend, and we were just like, "What is going on? What is this? What am I seeing right now?" Quite bizarre. And I'm sorry if I'm seeming really moany and everything, but I really didn't like this film. I didn't. Can you tell that I didn't like it when I'm getting all high and squeaky? What else didn't I like? What else? Are there any bits I did like? Let's change that a little bit. Are there any bits I did like? Yes. As much as I didn't like some of the story decisions, there wasn't much of a story in this film, to be honest. But as much as I didn't like all of that, it was very lovely to look at. It was. There were some stunning shots. They really know what they're doing now when it comes to the design of Star Wars today and the cinematography and things. Back in the prequels, everything was green screen. Lucas was green screen mad, and it didn't look good. I think they definitely found the right balance now of green screen CGI to actually going somewhere and filming, so that's good to see. One shot in particular everyone loves, and I don't blame them, is where quite near the end of the film, but it involves one of the rebel. What is it? After Leia is put in a coma, there's a new woman who becomes a general, and at the end of the film, she sort of sacrifices herself and kamikazes into the First Order's Star Destroyer. So she warp speeds into their ship to blow them up, and the shot of it is great. There's one thing that Star Wars does very well, and that's implosions and then explosions. Very good sound effects. And so there's this shot where you see it's very, very wide shot, and big ship's here, her little ship goes in, flies in, and then silence and nothing, no sound at all for a good 5 seconds, and then you hear the as it all explodes out. And honestly, silence is the best sound they could have had in that circumstance. No sound, because you hear it. When you're in a cinema and there's no sound, you immediately hear everything. And it was very, very good to be like, whoa, okay, that's cool. Unfortunately, it didn't make any sense in terms of the plot, because why haven't they been doing that the whole time? Why haven't they been kamikazing ships in? Is that against some sort of international space law? Because it seems very effective. If one ship can take down an entire Star Destroyer just by light speeding into it, why wouldn't they do that all the time? Why did the stupid general lady, the one after Princess Leia, why did she have to stay on the ship to do that? I'm pretty sure by whatever point they are in the future in Star Wars, they have cruise control, an autopilot. Can't the ships just fly into themselves? Why does someone need to be on it? She even says that. She's like, go on without me. I need to stay and pilot the ship. What, pilot in a straight line? It's dumb. Stupid little things like that take you out of the film because they're dumb. And there's no place for that in sort of films now. Not when these Star Wars films are so big and have such a following. They need to think about these stupid things. They really do.
Oh, we are excited, aren't we? Well, just relax. Just relax. Yeah. Now, we can have a good time, can't we? Oh. I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable. I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable. I find you adorable. I find you adorable.
What else didn't I like? There was one point in the film where Luke calls the lightsaber a laser sword. I don't know why. I don't know why. Why would he call it a laser sword? Tell me. Anyway, yeah. What else? Oh, Captain Phasma, the shiny stormtrooper. You know how she had such a bad deal in Force Awakens where she pretty much did nothing and then got crushed in the crusher. Well, she's back. She didn't die. She's back to fight Finn again. And guess what? That lasts for approximately 2 minutes on screen, and then she dies again. She dies again. I really feel bad for the actress who plays Captain Phasma, whatever her name is, because she must go on to set and be like, okay, what am I doing? Oh, another fight and I die. Well, that sucks. Have I got 3 more? Oh no, I've run out of banners. I needed some more. I need 3 to go there. Never mind. Oh my god, that's freaked me out. It's because I turned off hostile sounds, isn't it? Yep. What else? It's just... Well, I read a review, or I listened to a review by Mark Kermode on BBC Radio 5 Live. Very, very popular film critic here in England, in the UK. I like him, generally, but I disagreed with him majorly on this film. He really liked The Last Jedi, and most critics do seem to really like it. Most fans, or a lot of fans, don't, which is funny. And Mark Kermode was talking about he really liked the arc of the characters, and it's a film where everything that happens in the film it helps the character's arc. And I disagree. Characters don't have an arc in a lot of this film. They end the same way they began. Poe Dameron starts as this cocky flyboy who doesn't take rules from anyone. And guess what? He's exactly the same at the end. Exactly the same. Oh, God. And there was that bit. There's this bit that lasts for about 25 minutes in the middle of the film where Finn and this girl called Rose, some rebel Rose, go onto this planet where there's like a space casino trying to find this guy who will help them hack into one of the First Order's destroyers. And I need to find an anvil. And it turns into like this thing about horse racing, or like space horse racing. Oh, waste of time. It didn't do anything. They could have cut that whole bit out. They could have. There are some themes that I really liked. There are some things that I really liked in this film. There is the theme about what is good, like you take the Sith to be bad and you take the Jedi to be good, or the rebels to be good, right? But it's never that black and white. And there's a bit about all the rich people at that casino. They're only rich because they're weapons dealers, and oh look, they deal weapons to the First Order, but they also deal weapons to the rebellion. So it isn't just like they're good, they're bad. And I like that sort of thing, but it didn't need a 25-minute casino scene to do that. It really didn't. And what do I need? I'm winding myself up by talking about this because I really wanted these films to be great. I really did. And at the moment they're kind of average, mediocre. Now J.J. Abrams has got to come back. Oh my god. And there's one more thing. I've just thought of something else. How long have I been recording for? Oh god, way too long. But there's something else as well. I've just realised. Snoke. Oh, that's not an empty bit of paper. You remember Snoke? You remember he was the weird hologram thing in The Force Awakens? Well, we finally get to see him now. And hopefully, you would hope... Oh, we're going to learn who he is. We're going to learn how he became Supreme Leader of the First Order. Maybe he is related to Palpatine, to Sidious. Maybe he is some sort of clone or something. All the stupid fan theories that people had about Snoke. Well, now it's time to find out. Oh wait, he dies. Kylo Ren kills him. Didn't see that one coming. It's not as if the Sith trainee, whatever you call it, always kills the master. It's not like that always happens in every Star Wars story. Yeah, Kylo Ren kills him, and we learn absolutely diddly squat about Snoke. We don't know why he got to that position, why he wants to kill Luke Skywalker, why he looks the way he does, like all messed up face. We don't know. Why? Why don't we know? I just don't get it. That's right. And that can go away. No, these can go away. I just don't get it. It was 2.5 hours long, and nothing was explained. The story was on a pathetically small scale. That's the problem, is the sense of scale in these films aren't very well done. So, really, in real time, this film, Last Jedi, takes place straight after Force Awakens. So, these two films of the new trilogy, Force Awakens and Last Jedi, they take, what is it, like, I don't know how long Force Awakens is in real time, but let's just say it's a couple of weeks. 2 weeks. Pretty much. In terms of time we've had. And I'm assuming by the end scene of this film, they're setting up for a time jump, like a time skip, for episode 9. Because it ends with like, oh, there is hope for the rebellion yet, and then it cuts to these stupid little... So, on the casino planet, with the space horse racing, there are these little slave children who look after the horses, space horses, and the last scene of the film is one of the slave boys, or the little worker boys, looking up to the sky, and he used the Force on a broom, and he has like a little rebellion logo ring thing, and he's like, ah. And it lingers on this really awkward shot of this kid looking up in the sky, and it makes you think, okay, there are more people who can use the Force. This little kid's going to grow up and help the rebellion one day. So I can only assume episode 9 is going to take place like 20 years later or 10 years later, when these little kids have grown up and yeah, can help. But I just feel like nothing. There's no scale. There's no scale. The main thing that happened in this film was the rebellion were chased by the First Order. That was it. They were chased, and not just like, and not chased as in chased, New Hope chased, where they're chased. I've said the word chased too many times now. They were tracked from the Dagobah, or not Dagobah. What was that planet called? Tatooine to the Millennium Falcon, and then all like they were followed the whole film pretty much. No, in Last Jedi, it's a chase that is a straight line through space, and I don't even know why this is the case, but the First Order don't catch up. Oh, let me try and think about this. The First Order are chasing them, knowing that the rebellion has low fuel, so they can't warp speed away, but they're just out of range of something, so they can't actually catch them, so they just have to keep chasing them. I don't get it. I don't get it, guys. Oh. Anyway, I'm gonna stop now. Basically, I didn't think Last Jedi was very good. I'm definitely gonna have to see it again. I'm definitely have to go see it again. There's some parts I didn't understand, or maybe not didn't understand, but I'd like to sort of rewatch in case I missed something. There's a part where Rey sort of dabbles with the dark side, and Luke looks worried about that. He's like, "Ooh, you strayed to the dark side so easily. That is not good." And then it's never brought up again. It's never brought up again. She looks to the dark side for a bit and wonders who her parents are. And then she goes back to being great at everything, because that's who Rey is. She can do everything. She's great at the Force. She's great at being a pilot. She is a very Mary Sue character who can do just about anything. So I was disappointed in Star Wars Last Jedi. Worryingly, this director guy, Rian Johnson, and his rubbish jokes and everything, he's got a whole trilogy. Disney have just given him a whole brand new trilogy to do. So, completely separate to this one. He has free reign, apparently. And that does not bode well for people like me who are not a fan of this film. Who knows what's going to happen. As I've said, I've warned this to people, to real life friends. I've said, you're going to get burned out on Star Wars because it is going to be one a year. Just like Marvel. We're not used to that. We're used to Star Wars being, well, even when they were out, prequels, they were like 2-3 years apart from each other. Having a Star Wars film every year, you're going to get sick of it. And it's going to completely lose that excitement that it once had. So that's a bit of a shame. But hey, don't worry. We can all go buy Porg plushies and Millennium Falcon sets and all the lovely merchandise instead. Right, I'm going to stop talking there. End of spoilers now. No more Last Jedi. I have stopped. And you know what? I'm going to end the episode. So let me just quickly show you what I've done. So this is the main hall. We've got some nice pictures on the wall. I need to add some lighting somehow. Maybe behind these. Is there actually room behind them? Oh, there is. Yeah, I can add some glowstone back there. Get rid of all these unsightly torches. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to do. Oh, let's quickly do that now. Because it is one of the main things. With this. Let's do it on this side. Have I got all the things to do it? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. This is, after all, the Stonecutters Temple. So we need to have the Stonecutters logo. Let's hope I can build this right first time. We need one there, and then that, and then that, and that, and then bish, bash, bosh, bish, boosh. That should be it. That's as close as I can get to the sort of double-ended hammer. Oh yeah, see, I think that's pretty good. I think that looks like a double-ended hammer. Yeah. And also, I forgot to add loads of stuff. I was just too busy getting angry about Star Wars. I was. All these torches and stuff I forgot to add. Have I still got? Yeah. But we will, as I know I've been like saying, oh, we'll do this next time, we'll do the diamond stuff, but we will. There's no rush. I figured I'd try and be a little bit topical with the Star Wars stuff first anyway. So, there you go. But no spoilers, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil it. I've finished talking now. I've finished. Yeah, actually I've run out of torches as well, so let's definitely end off here. Put one there and one... Ugh, you know what? Never mind. I'll probably do little bits off screen, but yeah. More stuff like that, adding some torches and things. In here, this is the dining hall. This is where they sing the song. The... We do... That one. You know what I'm trying to hum there. Need to add a little table there. Over here we have the sacred parchment. Very, very important. This is the thing that Homer wipes his face on and uses as a napkin. This is what the Stonecutters Lodge worships. Its commandments, or I don't know, constitution, whatever is written on there. But I'll probably put some plates now. Oh, you know what I'll be able to do soon? Is put down item frames with food in it. Because you can put item frames flat now on the floor. So that'd be good. And I can put some more of these sort of things like drinks. Because they're actually drinking in that song. So that'll work out well. Need to work out the roof as well. It's a little bit ugly still. Not quite working as I want it to. Anyway, that was a long old ramble. If you have seen the Star Wars Last Jedi, please let me know what you thought in the comments below. Hey, whether you liked it, whether you agree with all my moans, or whether you disagree. It would be kind of interesting if you did disagree and you liked it, because I would like to know more about why people liked it. Yeah. Anyways, that will do it for now. Thank you very much for watching and listening to me moan for so long. I hope it was vaguely enjoyable. And until next time, goodbye. Oh, and may the force be with you. Always.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems.